For weeks they danced, crying out for help until they collapsed in the streets, dead. This is the true story of the dancing plague of 1518. It all started with a single woman, Frau Troffea, on a narrow cobbled street in the city of Strasbourg. She began to dance, with no music playing. She danced without rest for 4 to 6 days, ignoring her husband's pleas for her to stop. After just 3 days, her feet were already swollen and bloodied. Most people simply stood on the sidelines, bewildered by her strange dance without music. Within a week, however, over 30 other people had been seized by the same compulsive urge. By August, the number of dancers had swelled to an estimated 400. They were people from all walks of life, rich and poor, priests and nuns. Eyewitnesses described them with pinched faces and glassy, vacant eyes, as if trapped in a trance. But this was no joyful festival. The dancers were in agony, many crying out for help as their bodies refused to obey. Their feet would swell and bleed directly into their shoes. Some suffered terrifying visions, like drowning in a sea of blood. Later chronicles report that as many as 15 people a day were literally dancing themselves to death. The city authorities, desperate for a solution, consulted physicians who diagnosed the plague as a natural disease caused by hot blood. Their prescribed cure was not rest, but more dancing. They believed the afflicted had to literally dance themselves free of the mania. The council cleared out public squares, built a large wooden stage, and even hired professional musicians and dancers to keep the victims moving. This policy was a catastrophic failure. Turning the private torment into a public spectacle only caused the plague to spread further. Realizing their error, the panicked officials reversed course, embracing a supernatural explanation. This was a curse from Saint Vitus, a martyr who could supposedly inflict a curse of uncontrollable, frenzied dancing on sinners. The council, in an attempt to appease the saint, banned all music and banished, quote, loose persons, like prostitutes and gamblers, from the city as an act of penance. In addition, the most severely afflicted dancers were rounded up and sent on a forced pilgrimage to a shrine dedicated to the saint. At the shrine, the dancers were put in red shoes, given small crosses, sprinkled with holy water, and made to dance in a circle around an effigy of the saint. This is deeply bizarre, as some dancers were reportedly terrified by the colour red and had to have their shoes forced on them. Yet, despite the strangeness, this ritual seemed to work, and the plague subsided. And so the mystery persists. What power could make people dance against their will? And why did the cure seemingly force its victims to embrace the very thing it also made them fear?